Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Players Corner, brought to you by SCSU Athletics and Deerwood Bank. With me, as always, Will Hammer. Joining me back again this week, Kevin Fitzgerald out last week, and a new guest, grad transfer Seamus Donahue, a.k.a. Moose. We've talked about you a couple times before on this show, but glad to have you here, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me. I heard my name was dragged through the mud a few times about my pickleball skills, so I had to make an appearance. I know I'm a little late, but good to be here. I'm a grad transfer, like you said. Played the last 3 years at Michigan Tech, and then transferred here, obviously, and really happy to be here. It's been great so far, and can't wait to get the season started soon.
Yeah, how do you feel about the bubble situation in Omaha?
Yeah, we're all excited about it. I mean, getting closer. It was really nice just to know, like, when we were actually going to be playing. When that announcement came out, we were all super pumped and still really excited. I don't think the excitement's really diminished at all since we heard. So we're ready to play hockey.
And we see a little bit of movement in the background. Will, you want to give us an update on where you're doing this episode from?
Yeah, I'm actually on a river walk here, and it's like 60 today, so I have to enjoy one of the last warm weather days of the year. So here I am out on a walk. It's right on the Mississippi.
Glad to see you're enjoying some weather. And Kevin, you were out last week. Any updates on how you're feeling today?
Feeling good. I had some business meetings to attend last week, so I couldn't make it. But all squared away, feeling good now.
Well, guys, I guess the first topic of today would be you had an open practice on Friday to a small group of the public. How did it feel for you guys to just kind of be in the public eye instead of in a sheltered practice so far this season?
Go ahead, Moose, you take it.
Yeah, different. I mean, it's really different playing in front of nobody all the time. And obviously it wasn't a real super organized actual competition, just an inter-squad scrimmage. But it was nice to have fans there. We all know that they want to be there and we miss them, but it was nice to see a few faces in the crowd too. I think that was like the second practice we've had anyone there other than players and coaches. So one other day was some media came by, and there's a little bit extra buzz in the rink, and that was nice. But we're a super motivated group too, and any external motivation is nice. But I think we're ready to play in front of nobody for 10 games in the bubble too.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was cool. Saw some familiar faces. Some of the St. Cloud Frostbite were there. Go Frostbite. We love to practice with the Frostbite, but yeah, it was fun. It was good to get out there and play in some from people. I think the whole Moose family was there. Some of them were, but yeah, no, it was a good time, and looking forward to getting back in the Herb second semester.
I thought it was kind of funny because usually when you hit the ice with like people watching, you hit like with everybody on the team, and like for practice, like there's like one person will pop out, then like 4 minutes later, a few more will pop out. So I feel like it's kind of awkward right away when you're like the first few out on the ice. And I whiffed one of my first pucks, and I was like, that's a tough start to the day. But it was good to see everybody in the building. Like the guy said, we've kind of been with each other, which has been awesome. And to see some of the fans was good. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can see them more later in the season. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, Will, that is weird. I was the first one on the ice, and I set up the nets, and then I kind of skated around a bit, and I had no idea what to do. It was probably one of the more uncomfortable feelings that I've had playing hockey.
Yeah, Fitz just wanted to say he was the first one out there.
Yeah, Fitz is usually the first one out there. Everybody kind of has their time when they hop out on the ice, and Fitz is the early bird. He's the guy out there dangling, getting the nets ready. So, but you know what? It could be because he's older too. Needs a little bit more time to warm up.
These hips just don't get going by themselves.
Well, guys, hopefully you had a good Halloween weekend. I saw a lot of you guys dressed up, but from the three here, who had the best Halloween costume?
I gotta say, Moose and Jerry were good. They were old men, and they played the role to a T. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, we tried to not break character for as long as we could, so it was kind of difficult, especially to do it keeping a straight face, but we had fun with it.
Yeah, I thought Moose and Jerry were good. Like, you guys were impressive. I think like Oaks was what Marge Simpson.
Marge Simpson, try to get a little extra height there.
So that was, and like he like painted his face like orange yellow, so that was kind of weird. But I thought Kevin had a good costume as well. He was Lilo and Stitch. He was Stitch. So that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, Coop was good. He was Dwight Schrute. he was in character for a while too. It was pretty funny.
That's who I went as Halloween as well. I think the whole outfit, the whole ensemble cost me about $7 because all I needed was the glasses. I had everything else. And then my roommate Nathan went as Jim. Sadly, no 3-hole punch Jim like Nick Perbix.
Yeah.
My Jim was the patented baby blue shirt and tie. But it was a good Halloween. And as we get into before we get into the main portion of today's episode, just a reminder that this Players Corner is brought to you by Deerwood Bank. Deerwood Bank has been helping Minnesotans with all of their banking needs since 1910, with 13 locations throughout Minnesota, including 2 locations in the St. Cloud area. Deerwood Bank is proud to partner with Husky Athletics. Deerwood Bank, member FDIC. And guys, as we get into our final topic of today, I just wanted to talk about your guys' junior hockey experience, what it was like for you guys playing, and then how you eventually came to St. Cloud. Kevin, we can start with you.
Well, this is going to take about 45 minutes. I was kind of a suitcase, got dished around a couple places, played in the NA, played in the EHL, then back to the NA. It was a lot of fun. I ended up playing most of my junior hockey in Aberdeen, South Dakota for the Wings. I loved it there, had a great experience, made some lifelong friends, had some great billet parents. It was hard. It wasn't really the stereotypical like easy route, like play a couple years, then go right to college. Kind of had to grind there a little bit, and then ended up walking on to St. Cloud State. An experience I wouldn't trade for anything, and it was great. Shout out to my billet parents, Rob and Larry Hansen.
Yeah, I too had I was in 2 different spots. I started in Penticton in the BCHL. I played with Broads there, so I got to know him there. And then the next year I went to Wichita Falls. Also, shout out Null. I think all 3 of us are Nullers, so that's
fun. Shout out to the Null out there.
Yeah. But yeah, me too. I had great billet parents in both places. We still keep in touch. That was one of the best parts about junior hockey, in my opinion, other than just meeting new people and faces, like really getting to know a family and them being so gracious, opening their doors to young guys trying to live out their dream. That's special.
Yeah, for sure. I have to give a shout out to Seamus because we're all 3 Nullers, but Seamus is a Null Souther, and like that's pretty impressive for those of you who don't know. Null South is like extra gritty. There used to be a lot of fights in the Null South. So coming out of there alive in one piece, like congratulations, Seamus. Glad you're with us today.
Yeah, Fitz did too, but he didn't last very long.
Yeah, not notable. Not as notable as you were. As for me, I played my first 2 years for the Aberdeen Wings. I played one of them with Kevin. And then I actually got traded my final year to the Minnesota Magicians, where Scott Meyer was actually our head coach. He was a former goalie for SCSU. Kind of small world. I had, kind of longer path as well. I had played all 3 of my years of juniors before I ended up walking on to St. Cloud State. Definitely a hard journey, but I wouldn't trade it because I'm here with all the guys now and I'm having a blast. And I feel lucky to have the opportunities that I've had so far and be a part of this culture. So although juniors were tougher for me and maybe some of us on here, ultimately they were great because here we are. So,
and you guys, talked about it a little bit. You get to play now with players that you've gotten to know a little bit through your time in juniors. Like you guys said, it wasn't for the full 2 or 3 years. It was a season or 2. What's that like when you can come back to a different place and play with some of the same guys?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You.
Oh, here's the, there you go.
Do you want me to take it? Should I take it?
Yeah, you go ahead.
No, you have it. No, you can have it.
I was just gonna build off what you said about it being a small world, like just such a small world, right? Me and Broads never.
Small.
Yeah, it's super small. No, me and Broads had never played together, and then our paths crossed in Penticton, and like you really don't guess you're going to be able to play with somebody again, and then you do, kind of out of nowhere. So it's cool. It's cool because but we all kind of knew each other before too, right? Like we've all played against each other growing up. So yeah, it was cool to see Broads again for sure, and great to be on his team again. I mean, I don't want to play against that guy.
Yeah, like you said, Nick, it's just kind of coming back, and I mean we're all seniors here, and Will and I have had the opportunity to come back here and play 3 years. It'll be our fourth. It's just like incredible to have a home here and kind of know that, like every year you're playing with the same guys. I mean, guys move on and graduate, but it's been great, and the culture here is incredible. And yeah, like I remember feeling as a freshman, feeling a part of a family, and now like we're seniors now, and we've just been apart for so long, and it's great getting to know these guys and kind of our teammates. And I think even Seamus has been here for about 3 months. It feels like it's been years, which is a good thing and a bad thing. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it feels like it's been a while, and yeah, it's just such a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think Seamus alluded to it. You know, hockey's definitely a small world, and you know, like you said, we all play each other kind of growing up, so you run into the same names quite a bit. And I'm glad to have some of those names on my own team now because it sucks playing against some of these guys. So that's good for sure. But yeah, it's cool to see how people change, especially from juniors into college. Like, you know, people are obviously growing up with you in a sense, and not only off the ice but on the ice. So yeah, really cool to keep in touch with those people, and not only just the people on our team, but I have a lot of friends that I was, you know, in junior with that went different paths, and whether they play on different teams around college, the Division I level or Division III, it's fun talking to them and keeping up with them. So yeah, it's been good. It was a good experience in that sense for sure.
And then finally, what's it like when you meet someone that you used to play with in juniors on an opposite side of a college hockey game? Do you talk before the game, after the game? I think it's pretty fair to say you're not really friends for 60 minutes, but, you know, is it nice to see them again? What do you guys try and do in terms of seeing a former teammate?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely not like buddies with them during the game, but yeah, I mean, before, after normally is when you kind of like see him catch up, maybe after the game, like tunnel or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like hockey's such a small world, as everyone's alluded to, but
Small world,
tiny. But yeah, like so it's good. Like you play with so many people over again, and then you know like a guy who played with somebody that you know. But yeah, no, it's hockey. Hockey's a small world, and it's good to see those guys and catch up after the game.
I can't get together with the small world.
Was that 7 times, 8 times? I don't know. All right, I'll go
5 times.
Should I see how much I can say small world in my segment?
We've got a little tally right here.
I'm just kidding. I'll go next while Seamus gathers himself. Yeah, I think it's cool. I guess it depends who it is for sure. I don't think I talk that much on the ice, but when I see someone I know, like off the face-off, I'll say something for sure. So yeah. So, I mean, it's cool to run into people for sure, but kind of during the game, you're kind of in the mode. So.
Yeah, I don't have much else to add. I mean, it's always great to see an old friend, but you're not buddies on the ice at all. So and that's not really that hard either. Like if you're going up against one of these guys in a drill, it's really not that hard to go all out against them either, because we want to push each other to get better and challenge each other. So it's no different during a game. I mean, you can kind of flip that switch pretty easily.
Well, and I feel like you guys have that ability to do that too. On the pickleball court, we've established that all season long.
There are no friends. There's only mortal enemies on the pickleball court.
But no, it's always great to hear about, you know, what it was like for each one of you and how you found your way to St. Cloud. But that'll wrap it up for this edition of the Players Corner. Seamus, thank you for joining us today. For Will Hammer, Kevin Fitzgerald, and Seamus Donahue, I'm Nick Spiliopoulos.
Small world.
Smallest world, man.